Well, CO2 is it's being demonized as the demon molecule that's driving. Supposedly, it is a greenhouse gas, and increasing amounts of CO2 do have some warming influence on the atmosphere. But we would argue that it's fairly modest and greatly overwhelmed by natural forces. And if we look throughout time, many of your viewers are led to believe that CO2 is at dangerously high levels and increasing, and that's far from the truth. The CO2 levels we are at today, a little under 420 parts per million, are actually some of the lowest levels throughout Earth's history.
Really?
Throughout Earth's history, the average CO2 levels were 2,600 parts per million. Before the Industrial Revolution, we were at between 280 and 300 parts per million. So we've added, let's just say 280, we've added 140 parts per million to where we are today. But again, if you put that into the big picture of Earth's history, today's levels we're at almost catastrophically low levels. And at the end of the last ice age, we nearly reached what I call the line of death, which is 150 parts per million. We got to 180. Why is that? Because it's at 150 parts per million, plant life can't survive. That would be a true climate catastrophe. And I like to look back, particularly over the last 5,000 or so years, dating back to the first great civilizations and empires. And we see that we're in a warming trend today. We just are. It's been warming for over 300 years. It started at the end of the 17th century. That was the depths of what was called the Little Ice Age. And we've been warming in fits and starts ever since, thankfully. And so we've been warming. So we are in a warming trend. And if we look back to the first great civilizations, we see that there were three other warming trends similar to ours today, but much warmer temperatures. The most recent one was the medieval warm period. Then we had the Roman warm period. That was the time of Christ. And before that, the Minoan warm period. The Minoan warm period correlated to the Bronze Age, the Roman warm period to the Iron Age, the medieval warm period were correlated to the High Middle Ages. And these things were the thing to realize. Again, if we go back to the first of these great warming periods, the Minoan warm period, the first great civilizations rose up, the Hittites, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, and these were great civilizations, first Chinese great civilizations. They thrived, prospered, food was bountiful. And again, we know it was a lot warmer then because they were growing a crop called millet in Scandinavia, which can only be grown in subtropical areas now.